Hi, everybody. Welcome to Curriculum Night. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It is Thursday, September the 17th, and I am really happy that you're here and that we get to talk a little bit about curriculum in first grade. For those of you that don't know me, I am Laura Ashley Cherry. I graduated from UNC Charlotte many moons ago. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education. This is currently my 15th year in education. All have been at Weddington Hills teaching first and second grades. My husband and I live in Davidson. We have two children. Will is 14 and in eighth grade, and Caroline has just begun her middle school journey. She is 12. We also have three big dogs that we love just as much as our children. So our agenda tonight is on the screen. We are just going to talk a little bit about COVID-19, our Plan C schedule, virtual instruction, our first grade curriculum, the parent and student handbook, and then just some questions at the end. So it's our goal at Weddington Hills to create an environment that is safe for teaching and learning. We are currently operating under Plan C. We believe that safety comes first here at Weddington Hills, and we will continue to follow the direction of the Cabarrus Health Alliance and Cabarrus County Schools in order to think about how we're going to format instruction. Of course, while we're here, we're always wearing masks, staying 6 feet apart, and washing our hands frequently. Our Plan C schedule is as follows. I know that you all have done a great job thinking and learning about Plan C and going through our Monday through Thursday synchronous learning. And then on Fridays, the children are doing a great job with their independent work and their inquiry boards. Just make sure that your child does log on to Canvas on Fridays and completes their work. I am able to see that, and that helps me to mark them present for school on Fridays. If they don't log into Canvas, they will be counted absent on those days. So just please make an effort to do so every Friday. Our schedule Monday through Thursday looks a little bit like this. Sometimes it does change, but for the most part, we will stick to this schedule. The only real difference is that we don't always have time for that IB block, so we dedicate our Friday choice boards to our IB instruction. And then, of course, our schedule for Friday really is up to you, but this is just an example of one that you can follow if you would like. Again, students are expected to log into Canvas every day. Our Canvas page is like coming into our homeroom. It allows you to complete your morning check-in, it logs into our teams, and then it also shows you the schedule or the daily activities for the afternoon. So if you'll make sure that you are always kind of checking out that homeroom page for announcements and so forth. Most everybody is doing an amazing job on Seesaw. You have successfully found it, you are completing assignments, and then you are also turning those assignments in. So we have just received an upgrade to Seesaw where I will be able to send assignments back to the students for corrections. Usually Mrs. Page or myself will comment on an assignment, but we are not able to send it back to the students so that they can make corrections. But now with our upgrade, we are able to do that. So just being mindful, please, that if you see an assignment that has come back to you, that you're listening to the comment or you're checking out the comment down below, and that way you all can make corrections and resubmit. So that's exciting for us. Just some student supplies. During our remote learning, it's recommended that the students have some things very close by so they're not getting up during instruction time. Those materials are paper or a composition notebook, pencils, markers, crayons. It is a little bit easier for me to see their independent work if they are using a marker or a crayon. Sometimes pencils get really difficult to see. I've also asked the students to always have a listening buddy with them. So if we were in the classroom, we would have partners where we would turn and talk, or we would stop and jot, and this just allows them to kind of participate in the same way. So a baby doll, a stuffed animal, an action hero, anybody that they can just kind of turn and tell what they are learning. I do also find that headphones are very helpful during this time. It tends to block out some of that background noise. I know some of you have many children at home. It's not just that one, and sometimes I can see that they're getting distracted or listening to another teacher. So headphones tend to block out all of that noise. The only thing is that if they do not have a microphone that is connected to that headphone, they have to unplug the headphones from their Chromebook if they want to talk to me. So if it doesn't have a microphone and they talk, we are unable to hear them. So if you're looking for headphones, it might be a good idea to get one that has a microphone installed. So ways to kind of get in touch with me, you can always go to our school website. There is a staff link, and under that staff link, my name is there. You're able to go to our web page. So that's a way to kind of get in touch with me. You can send me messages through Canvas or email. My Google phone number is in the next slide, or excuse me, in one of the next slide. You're welcome to text me through that. Also, Remind is a great tool that we can use to communicate. You can download the app on any smartphone. It is free. And then if you will just send a text at WHES 631 to 81010, it's kind of a good way to quickly send me a message. I do shy away from checking my phone, excuse me, during class time, just because I'm not a multitasker and it distracts me. So if you're trying to get in touch with me between the hours of 8:30 and 12, I most likely won't be able to respond until after we have hopped off from our small groups. So this is just a glance at our first grade curriculum. We have not changed anything in terms of curriculum just because we are in remote. So the only difference is that we are trying to find creative ways to present the material through the computers, through that remote teaching. It would look very different if we were actually in class, but just understanding that since we're not able to be in class, we are trying very hard to come up with some interesting ways to present material. In reading, we will talk about fiction and nonfiction, retelling both of those stories. We'll also look at our Letterland program, which goes along with phonics and decoding. Sometimes our students can read very well, but we see a missing part in being able to decode words, especially when they get to those multisyllabic words. So many groups will start out very simple, you may think, but it will kind of scaffold for their learning in higher reading materials. Our math curriculum, currently we are working on number patterns and counting to 150. Next week we will begin our Unit 2 math, which goes into adding and subtracting, and fluency with adding and subtracting to 20. Some of the other things that you will see in our first grade curriculum are measurement and place value, geometry, and telling time to the hour and half hour. In writing this year, we will write small moment stories, nonfiction reports, and opinion papers. We have not quite started that this year so far, hoping to get back into the building before we begin this. However, if we don't see a plan B in the next couple of weeks, we will go ahead and start some of our writing materials or start some of our writing prompts. Science and social studies and IB are really integrated throughout our day. And like I said earlier, during this distance learning, we are really focusing in on those core subjects such as math and reading and writing, but we do find that IB is very important and that social studies and science. So although a lot of it is integrated, we have chosen to use those Friday choice boards for a lot of our IB material. Mrs. Hooks is our IB coordinator, and you are always welcome to go on to Canvas and see her page for IB PYP. There is a ton of information here, and she goes over it very explicitly. If you are ever curious or wanting to understand our IB program a little bit better.
What will we learn?
That was Mrs. Hooks saying hello and good morning. And for some reason, this page is not loading very well, but it just goes into explaining what our IB themes are for the school year. There are many. We've just completed our unit on rules and leaders and understanding patterns with rules and patterns with leaders, and even bumping out to things in nature and how things in nature follow a rule or pattern as well. So check out her Canvas page and you will be able to see all of the additional themes for the year. Here we go. Here it is finally coming up. So who we are is one of our themes, where we are in place and time, how we express ourselves, and how the world works. And then we will end our year with sharing the planet and how we organize ourselves. All right, so this is just a couple of things that I know some of you have expressed concerns over, thinking about writing letters and numbers backwards. Sometimes, my opinion is that you correct them sometimes and let them know, but don't make a habit of constantly correcting. A lot of this will kind of work itself out throughout the year. I know technology glitches have been a concern. Don't stress. If you have a glitch in your Chromebook, there are technology tickets that you can fill out, and our technology specialist and IT department will do their best to get back with you and hopefully be able to figure out some of that. We talked about materials a little bit, and then returning to school. Once we find out that we are returning to Plan B, more information will be presented. So one of the last things I would say about online schooling or remote teaching is that please, please, please do not do your child's work for them. I know it is so difficult. I am a mom, and Caroline was working on main ideas the other day, and I just wanted to give her the answer. But it's hard to sit there and watch your child struggle. But if you are giving them the answers, then I think they have mastered that particular lesson or that particular skill. And then when they get back into the classroom and don't know it, it kind of sets us back a little bit. So I would just really encourage you to help them, however, not provide the answers with them. I know that iStation and iReady were quite difficult, but if you were giving them the answers, then their lessons are going to be much more difficult. Rather than it being on their level. So we will take another assessment at the beginning of October. And my best advice to you is just let them do it. If they get frustrated or it's too hard, pause it, take a break, and come back. But like I said, if somebody is giving them the answers, their lessons are going to be too hard for them. Both of these programs kind of scaffold their learning. So just please, please, please be mindful of that. Try and shy away from giving them answers. Even when I meet with them individually and we're doing running records or we're counting, just really let them struggle if they need to. They're in first grade. They're not expected to know everything. And that's why I'm here, to help teach them. So just let them do it. Let them make mistakes. Let them get answers wrong, because it really will only help them in the end. And I really cannot say enough how much I appreciate your support. I know that being a mom or dad or grandparent right now is harder than what I'm doing. So I like to stay at school because it's easier for me to be at school than to go home and be with my own children. So um, so just keep doing what you're doing, and just know that you are appreciated. But just really try and shy away from giving your student answers. This year, you can complete all annual forms online. The annual forms are listed right here. So each child is expected to have these particular forms filled out. You can, let's see if we can get to this website here. You can go to the Weddington Hills website, and I am going to show you where you need to click in order to fill those forms out online. Let's see. So right in here where it says Parent Information and Student Code of Conduct Handbook, this will allow you to fill out some of our Weddington Hills forms, as well as filling out those Cabarrus County school forms that do need to be completed. So that's a change from in years past. You would get a thick stack of papers that you would need to fill out, and this year it can all be done online. So that is exciting. And then these are just the different ways that you can contact me, again, through Remind, email, Google Voice Phone. Again, you can always go to our webpage and Canvas. And then I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. There is a Google form connected to this slide. And let's see, I can probably pull that up and show you. The questions are private. Nobody else will be able to see them, but if you'll just make sure you're putting your name and then the different questions, I am happy to go back probably tomorrow and answer any of those questions for you, curriculum-wise, operating in Plan C, moving on to Plan B, anything that you may have questions or concerns about. So that is our curriculum night presentation. Again, I'm so happy to have your student in class this year. It is an honor. Have really loved being able to see them remotely and cannot wait to get my little hands on them once we come back to Plan B. So thank you all again. I hope you have a great weekend, and I am looking forward to seeing everyone on Monday.